This is, you know a lot, but not enough to be successful. Does not work. Does not work. I'm going to critique this business. So if you decide to start a local business or if you run a local business, you won't make the same mistakes. My name is Walter. I've got 3 different local businesses in 2 different states with 1,200 combined reviews at a 5-star rating. Been featured on the Today Show, even featured on News Channel 2, News Channel 5, the Nashville scene. Let's get into the video.
My junk removal company profits over $1 million a year, and I run it all from my computer. No employees, working only a few hours a week. I'm going to walk you through exactly how I do it and show you how you can copy the same business model.
Okay, let's get some context here. How many junk removal companies profit over $1 million a year? I've got the biggest local junk removal company in Nashville, Tennessee. There are, I would say, under 20 in the United States that profit $1 million a year. You might say, oh, there's so much money out there. It's an abundance mindset. It's actually not true. You can look at the FDDs. You can look at the franchise disclosure documents. You can look into the data. Ask AI, ask Google, ask ChatGPT. How many junk removal businesses in the United States profit in EBITDA or just like net earnings of $1 million a year? Look into the data yourself before you watch these videos because they're super salacious and it's actually just not true. It's just not possible. By the way, I've done research on this guy. I cannot find one of his businesses, especially for a guy that talks so much about the Google My Business page and the importance of ranking on that. None of his Google My Business pages are available on the internet. They just don't exist.
Any home service business or niche of your choosing. So many young entrepreneurs are focused on drop shipping, Amazon FBA, software, AI businesses. It's left the good old traditional home service industry.
100% true 4 years ago. 100% true 4 years ago. Now it's not the case anymore. You see everyone on TikTok, whether it's Cody Sanchez, whether it's Chris Korn, like there's so many guys that are out there talking about, oh, this business, you're competing with a guy with a fax machine. Yeah, that was true like 15 years ago, and the competition wasn't as bad 4 years ago, but this is 2025. The market is almost completely tapped. It's incredibly difficult to get into these businesses, and it's not like you're competing with idiots. Like these people know what they're doing these days. It's not that simple. It's really not, and I dare you to start a business for yourself and just say that it is. It's incredibly competitive.
Wide open for easy disruption. Many home service business owners have gotten comfortable with the business they have, and lots don't even answer the phone when customers call. By integrating some modern
This is true in the businesses that are a pain in the ass. Mobile mechanics, this is true. In car detailing, this is true. Of course, the best of the best, the top 3 on the Google Map Pack, they're going to answer the phone. Google monitors who answers their phone and who doesn't, and they put them at the top of the Map Pack. But the businesses that suck, that are not good businesses to run, yes, this is true. But for all of the high-ticket home service businesses, and even most of the low-ticket ones, whether that's landscaping, junk removal, and then even the high-ticket like HVAC, electrical, plumbing, a lot of these high-ticket businesses, it is insanely competitive.
business practices, I was able to build a junk removal company that profits 7 figures a year from my computer, and you can do the same thing. Let me walk you through my story and how I did it. So my junk removal company started in a very traditional manner. After college, I needed to figure out a way to make some cash. I had a pickup truck and I decided I would try to make some cash doing junk removal and odd jobs. I made a very
Okay, I'm a little empathetic to this because this exact thing happened to me. I lost my job to COVID in 2020 when I graduated from Auburn, and I had a pickup truck, and I had to go back to my hometown, pick up people's trash. I can link the stories of where this was featured before, but like, I don't really believe this guy.
cheap website, set up Google My Business listings, and was ready for jobs to start rolling in. But I was somehow surprised when nothing came in. I didn't realize how long it took for some things on the internet to start ranking and getting traction.
This is true.
I went after niche terms like couch removal, TV removal, treadmill removal, specific terms like that. I started booking jobs and I started making a little bit of money. I quickly realized that specific items were easier to rank for than full-on junk removal, where I was competing with companies like 1
This is, you know a lot, but not enough to be successful. This is the definition of this. This is what's happening right now is people that don't know a ton about keywords, about ranking for keywords, about all of the SEO data. These are people that try to scam you by making videos just like this that are completely inaccurate. He's about to mention 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Do you think 1-800-GOT-JUNK isn't ranking for the long tail keywords? They're not stupid. They figured out what the long tail keywords are way better than you have in every single market. And guess what? There's 5 franchises that are out there that are trying to kick your ass. 1-800-GOT-JUNK, College Hunks, Junk Luggers, Junk King. Like there's over 5. There's so many franchises out there. Junket, Junk Shot. Like there's literally dozens of franchises that understand this, and they have a corporate marketing salesperson that is in some office somewhere that understands that long tail keywords, oh, this might be a play. They know this. And also the other person that knows this is Google. Google knows this. They know if you're trying to rank for junk removal in Nashville, you're probably also trying to rank for couch removal near me. They understand that. This isn't like Google is stupid and big competitors or national franchises. 1-800-GOT-JUNK is worth $1 billion. They understand this.
And Junk King, who had endless amounts of budget. I decided to focus my SEO on my website towards those specific terms as well. I started writing out specific pages on my website for each type of junk removal.
And listen, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do this. You should 100% do this, but you shouldn't expect, okay, I wrote one article on my WordPress site that says I can pick up your couch in Smyrna, Tennessee, and expect to immediately rank for couch pickup in Smyrna, Tennessee. It doesn't work like that. It literally doesn't work like that, and it makes me so mad when people say that it's this easy. I've been doing junk removal for 6 years locally. Like, I know all of the keywords.
Offered couch removal, mattress removal, grill removal. Each had their own page on my website. And believe it or not, those pages began to rank locally. I realized the keyword couch removal in Denver, Colorado was very low competition, and no one had put together a well-written and targeted article for customers looking for that specific service. So I began to get...
That's a lie. That's a lie. Search couch removal, Denver, Colorado right now on Google. 1-800-GOT-JUNK has an article on that. College Hunks has an article on that. I bet 4 to 5 local junk removal companies have an article on that. Just Google it.
More and more jobs, but the problem arose when there were items I couldn't pick up myself. I was always grabbing a friend or my wife to help me move junk, and it wasn't reliable. I also did not want to hire any employees. I realized that most people...
This is where it gets good.
...outside, and that pricing for my junk removal was very predictable. I integrated an online booking form into my website with 100% upfront prices. $120 for a sofa, $90
does not
for a dresser,
work.
and customers could...
Does not work. Here's exactly why. What happens is people book, and then you get there, and it's a bigger job than you think. There's more stuff than you think. The sofa that you wanted to remove is actually a sectional, and it's a pullout, and it weighs 4 times the amount that you thought a normal sofa would weigh. You get there, and they say, oh, actually, I need to add this. And guess what? You already checked them out before. You can't check them out again. It doesn't work like that. I'm telling you, as someone that's done these jobs, I've seen contractors put cement underneath, like, literally the craziest things, so they can say, oh yeah, this is just a canoe. Would you mind just removing this? And it's just like, it's crazy the amount of things that people do to get away from paying money. And when you charge people up front, it doesn't work. Why is no other franchise doing this? Is this a revolutionary idea? 1-800-GOT-JUNK, Junk King, Junk Luggers, they haven't done any of this. Why is that? Are you smarter than them? I don't know.
Select the items that they wanted to have picked up. I began to only offer outdoor pickup services. They would put their items outside on their scheduled day of pickup, and I would swing by and pick them up during my route. I decided...
So when you do that, you're competing with the city. The city does that for free. The biggest value proposition in a junk removal company is you can go into their home and you can remove their stuff. When you put stuff outside on the curb, the city does that for $0 in almost every single metro across the United States. And you don't want to do rural junk removal, trust me.
To focus on picking up low competition niche items in my area rather than going after bulk item junk removal like every other junk company out there. I began to dominate the single item removals in my area. I wanted to expand into other areas, but wasn't sure
What's your area?
exactly how to.
Let's just see. What is your area? Are you dominating? Let me see.
It was at this point I heard a podcast of a guy running a cleaning business where he would contract out cleaners from places like Longtail and Craigslist
This is where it gets good.
Cleaning jobs, similar to how Uber operates. A light bulb went off. I realized I could expand my services into other areas without actually having to do the work myself.
Oh God.
This same
Oh boy.
Picking out home service jobs can be done in any industry. I first tried this out in some neighboring cities and used a junk removal contractor I found.
Oh my God. Okay. This is, I've seen this happen like 10 times. Bellhops came into the area. They're actually from Chattanooga, Tennessee. They're from where I'm from, the same state. Bellhops did it really well, but they did not do Craigslist. They actually highly vetted the people that they're getting to go out and do the jobs. And this is moving. It's a completely different industry. For junk removal and also for moving, it's turned out, if you look at Bellhopper's reviews, It does not work. Here's why. Here's what happens. You find someone on Craigslist and they show up and they're on crack. You hire someone on Craigslist and they show up and they're drunk. There's zero vetting that goes on. They show up, they're smelling like cigs. They go into your house, they steal your stuff. You have no idea who these people are that are going into people's homes. They're going into their bedrooms. They're going into their dresser. They're walking into their house. And then what happens is you get bad reviews. Shocking, I know, because there's zero quality control when you're hiring people off the street on Craigslist. Zero quality control. So when people come into other people's homes and they steal something and they smell like they're on crack, guess what happens? You get a 1-star review. This guy talks so much about Google My Business and how important reviews are, which he's right. That's 100% the most important thing in your local business. The scorecard that you have for your business is the reviews that you have, the sentiment, the velocity you're getting reviews, the total reviews, what people are saying inside the reviews. Is it 5 stars or 1 stars? That's the number one thing you should focus on. I agree on that, because that's how you show up in the map pack when people are searching for those search terms that we talk about. Guess what? People read the reviews. You're going to get an unbelievable number of 1-star reviews. And this isn't even going into the fact that when you're charging an upfront price and then contracting out the job, what happens? The contractor says, hey, they actually added more stuff, we should charge more money. And then the client says, we didn't put in more stuff. What are you talking about? Like, there's constant miscommunication. This happens all the time. These third-party logistic apps don't work for a reason. If it were this easy, this would have been solved by now. It's 2025. We have DoorDash for laundry. We have all kinds of incredible technologies. You don't think that this would have been invented by now? It's 2025. It would have, and it has, and it hasn't worked because people leave bad reviews because they don't want a Craigslist crackhead going into their home.
The item was outside. I charged the customer $120 for the couch. They booked online. The software I used automatically sent it to my driver. He accepted the job.
Junk removal companies make $0 on that. You know why? Because at PPC, the cost per click is between $15 to $20. That's what you're charging per click in a very major metro, right? You might get down to 10 in the smaller metro, but you're paying $10. Guess what happens? It takes about 10 clicks after people go to your website to get a conversion. Say your website's incredible. It's got a 10% conversion rate. Of 10 people that go on your website, 10% actually book the job, and then you end up doing work for that person. You're already at $120 to $200 in the cost to acquire a customer. PPC is incredibly expensive. The reason it works for the big franchises is they're assuming the job size 1 is gonna be way bigger than 120. Your average order value needs to be at least $400. You're gonna be losing money in junk removal. And that's average, it's not median. So you're gonna have jobs that are in, big jobs. You're gonna have a $10,000 job, a house clean out, a garage clean out, an estate sale. You're gonna have those jobs, but if you're doing these small jobs for 120 and that's the niche that you wanna compete in, you're going to lose money on every job. Once you pay assuming he got this job completely for free and spent $0 on ads, which by the way, there's no way because Google's not gonna rank a contracting business. They rank actual local businesses. Google this, look it up yourself. They rank local businesses that actually have a reputation, actually have quality backlinks, are actually in that area and able to service it. They know about this Craigslist grift. They know about this, they're not stupid. They rank those businesses lower. They don't put their Google My Business pages on. And if they did, their Google My Business page would get 1-star reviews all the time and it would be out of the map pack immediately.
He sent a picture when it was picked up, and I sent him $65. He was more than happy, and I had made $55.
His dump fees alone are going to be
path to a whole new world of potential and expansion for my junk removal company. Today, all of our bookings come in through our online booking form. We use a software called ZenBooker that basically manages everything.
All right, now you grip the software.
Sending out the jobs to drivers, signing up drivers on the back end, and customer contact. I don't have an affiliation with ZenBooker. I just think it's great and use it. So there's a lot of other software.
I think that's illegal if you actually do have an affiliate with them to throw it out there like that.
Other cities and then other states. Today, I have a network of over 5,000 drivers and am continuing to expand.
What's the name of the company?
Contracted out that coordinate.
I know of all the junk removal companies. This is my space. I have a location in Nashville with 600 reviews. I have a location in Houston with 450 reviews. I have a location in Austin with 100 reviews. I know I've been doing this for 6 years. All I know is junk removal. What is the name of the company? Because there's no third-party logistics app that is hitting that big of numbers with 5,000 drivers other than Go Load Up. And Load Up is incredibly unprofitable. They raise an incredible amount of money. They're the only person that's tried really hard at this and done it semi-successfully, but they are still losing money. And you're not Load Up, bro. What's the name of the company?
the incoming customer calls, as well as sends jobs and coordinates the jobs for the drivers. I oversee everything with only a few hours a week of work. This model can be replicated in any home service business from gutter cleaning.
No, it can't. You're gonna get someone off Craigslist to go fix someone's plumbing? What?
Lawn care. I've got another video where I go through a bunch of other service businesses that are operated remotely. I'm going to link that down below if you want to see an example of some businesses that are run fully remote. Pricing in any industry can be broken out and charged upfront. Even if you need to modify the pricing upon completion of the job, just allow the customer to book upfront and pay upfront and send the job to your contractors. I hope the story of how I built my junk removal.
That is such a gross oversimplification of what actually happens.
Your own junk removal company or a different niche service into a nationwide business that you can run from your computer using contractors and not actually having to do the work yourselves. You're competing against a lot of outdated companies, so it's very easy to build a quality website, integrate online booking, and set yourself apart. If you enjoyed this content, if you found it helpful.
All right, the reason I get so upset about this is because people go out and they do it. And on YouTube, people make it seem incredibly easy and it's incredibly difficult. The people on YouTube that are making these videos, they understand that a very tiny percentage of people that actually watch the video are gonna go out and try to accomplish that thing. And they also realize there's gonna be tons of other variables for why that person could say, hey, it doesn't work. I'm not gonna really blame Tim Richard. It's not gonna work because the business model is impractical and it hasn't worked in the past. You don't think that there's been giant money thrown into the Uberification of moving, of junk removal? Junk removal is a $10 billion industry. Moving is like a $40+ billion industry. They throw money at it. It doesn't work for a reason. And you on your laptop with a Zendesk account aren't gonna be able to recreate it. I agree. I think starting a local business is one of the smartest things that you can possibly do. And I agree, the competition is significantly less than it would be for a software, for drop shipping, or for any e-commerce business. I agree with that 100%. And I do think it's the fastest way to make $1 million. But I think it's so disingenuous to make videos like this and to show how easy it is. And it's a total insult to people that actually work their ass off every single day to have a local business and they're not profiting $1 million a year. They're not profiting $1 million a year because it's incredibly complicated, it's incredibly nuanced, and outsourcing jobs to drug addicts on Craigslist that find your post, here's what you should do. Go look up other businesses that have done this and then click on 1-star review, lowest rating, and see what people say. The businesses that outsource their work to Craigslist, look at their Google My Business page, look at their 1-star reviews and see what people say. People don't like it. People don't like it. It's really not that confusing. It's super simple to understand. I think the best opportunity is going out. It is starting your own local business, but do it smart. I agree. You should do research. You should figure out where the competition is. I think it's the one smart thing that he said this whole video is you get to pick who you're competing against. I agree with that. And I just don't think that it's as simple as just saying people in junk removal are dumb, rednecks have a truck and picking people's stuff up. You just need one long-tail keyword and a website. No, they know about that. Guess what? 1-800-GOT-JUNK, they want those jobs too. Junking, they want those jobs too. Junk luggers, they want those jobs too. And they're not just in some local area, they're across the country. And so I agree, find a niche locally that actually provides value to your community and do that. You don't do that by finding people on Craigslist and downloading a software. Okay, let's actually look into the data. I don't want a little rant there. I don't want to get too mean, but I want to actually provide real tangible insights that people can look at. They can see the data and they can make a decision for themselves. So he said the Google My Business page is the most complete lead source for any business. I agree with that 100%. Let's look at the review data and see if there's any, just literally one business that is contracting out jobs that isn't an actual business with trucks, with W-2 employees, with a logo, with their own brand, that isn't some Craigslist outsourcing grift. Let's look into the data. So we're looking at Localytics here. You can see the market activity trend. This is like the seasonality of the business, which totally makes sense. Junk removal is a seasonal business. In May, it's really busy. In October, it's slow. Let's look at the total reviews, right? Okay, College Hunks Hauling Junk, they're number one. This is in the past. Oh, this is total reviews, so this is of all time. College Hunks, 2,000 reviews. Junk King, 1,200 reviews. Junk Drop, 491. Stand Up, Go down the line. 2-minute junk truck, local guy, franchise, local, franchise, corporate model, which means they own all the locations. It's not a franchise. Load up junk. This is a third-party app. But guess what? This is the only one you will ever find. They've raised an incredible amount of money. They're unprofitable. And this is not, Google Load Up. Go look at Load Up, look at their data, look at their company. They have an office in Atlanta, Georgia. They're a huge corporation. This isn't some guy with Zendesk set up. This is a big operation. All right, let's keep it on the list. Music City Removal, local guy. Hauled Off, local guy. Junk Remedy, local guy. Best Call Haul, local guy. Junk Genie, local guy. Junk Guys, local guy. And guess what? It's the Pareto distribution where 20% of businesses get 80% of the jobs. And so all of these local businesses are competing for about 20% of the jobs where the big guys get 80%. Let's look at review growth to see which of these businesses is actually growing the fastest. We can go to the line here. We can look at each one of these businesses. We can see if you click on them, you can see what each business is doing well, what they're doing poorly, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. As I said, go load up the third-party app, which has like hundreds of employees in an office in Atlanta. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're the 7th fastest growing in Nashville. And there's no other third-party app. It's not a coincidence. It's because it doesn't work. Google prioritizes local businesses, and they actually prioritize local businesses more than franchises in a lot of ways. Because a lot of the franchises put out the same content that's on both their website, the Google My Business page, in multiple locations. And Google understands that local businesses are the backbone of the country, and they actually prioritize them in a lot of different ways. In ranking, in SEO, in Google Maps, in PPC. There's a lot of different ways that Google tries to help local businesses against the franchises. The third-party apps, it falls off a cliff. They understand that this is a Craigslist hire. They understand they're getting 1-star reviews. They understand this isn't an actual local business, and they punish them, and they prioritize the businesses that are. My goal is to make all publicly available data on local businesses available and easy to access in a clearly digestible UI. It's called Localytics. We do this ourselves. That's the data I just showed you, localytics.org. You can check it out for yourself.